Hey guys, I'm gonna take you on my ride home from the hospital because that's about the only time I have any quiet time is to and from the hospital, because otherwise I'm in the NICU with alarms going off and you're not really supposed to be on your cell phone other than to like text. You're not supposed to like make calls or anything because everybody has a roommate. So let's see, Harper's birth. I'm going to try to remember because lots of details are fuzzy because I was on pain medicine. So I'm going to try my best. So I went to work on September 4th, like I always do, about 7:15. And I usually make it about an hour until I have to go to the bathroom. So I get up to go to the bathroom around 8:15, and I'm bleeding. Like I had started my period bleeding, and they had always said every time I went to triage, if you start bleeding like a period, you need to come in. So I wasn't extremely freaked out. I wasn't in pain. I wasn't contracting. So I text my mom. She works on the first floor, and my sister and I work on the third. And she doesn't answer. So I text my sister. I'm like, you need to go get mom right now. Like, something is wrong. I need you to go get her. So I go back to my desk, and I talk to my coworkers, and I was like, does anybody have a pad? Because I'm bleeding, so like something's wrong. So someone finds me a pad. I go back to the bathroom. By the time I get back to the bathroom, which has only been a couple minutes, I've bled through my underwear, through my pants. Of course, I wore white pants that day. About that time is when my mom and sister come busting in the bathroom, like, what's going on? What's wrong? And I was like, I'm bleeding. I need to go to the hospital. Me being stubborn and me, I would have just driven myself to the hospital like I did every other time. So my mom was like, no, you're not driving. I'm going to drive you. I'm going to go tell my boss I'm leaving. Go clock out. Get your stuff. We're going to the hospital. We need to go now. I'm like, okay, whatever. Not whatever, because I knew I needed to go to the hospital, but I had given up and I was going to let her drive. I wasn't going to fight her. So she drives with flashers on all the way to the hospital. I honestly didn't think it was that serious. But I was like, whatever, do what you have to do to make yourself feel better. So we get there, we get to triage, and they're asking me how much I had been bleeding, and they look at the pad, and they, they just put you on that, like, sanitary, the ones that look like a pee pad, or whatever, like, that you train dogs with. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, and I knew this time was a little bit more serious because any other time I had gone in, they just monitored me. This time they drew labs, and they put an IV in, and they ordered an ultrasound, and checked my urine and all that stuff. The ultrasound tech finally came down. I feel like we weren't there that long. I know the whole hospital, the span from when I got to the hospital and when she delivered was probably about 4 hours. Anyway, so the ultrasound tech came down and did an ultrasound, and that took a little while to come back, and it came back that they didn't see anything wrong with my placenta, but there was blood in my uterus. So they were going to go ahead and admit me until they could figure out why I was bleeding, or, I stopped bleeding or whatever. So then I started getting sick, and I threw up in triage, I think once. And then they get me upstairs, and I was feeling like semi-okay, and other than I was just bleeding, like I wasn't in pain or anything. And my mom asked how long I was going to stay, and they said, well, indefinitely, until you either stop bleeding or you deliver. So I was thinking, I'm going to be in the hospital for the next 3 months. Like, this is just lovely. So I'm texting Chris what was going on. He had stayed home. He had come to my house, gone to daycare, picked up the kids, and gone to my house. For those of you that don't know, we are separated, and I filed for divorce. So I'll make another post about that because I know I haven't really talked about it or what's been going on. So that might be a shock to y'all. Anyways, because they had shots the day before, and they were running a pretty high fever and just didn't feel good. Like, they weren't sick or anything. It was just from shots. But they were being really whiny, and the school had called, and so he had a ton of sick time, and he said, I'll just go and pick him up and stay with him and, give him daddy cuddles and make him feel better. So he was at home, so I'm texting him, like, they're admitting me. You know, when you come see me later, this is what I want you to bring, kind of stuff. And my mom had called my dad to basically come take over. She was going to go back